Hello, welcome. You are listening to Dr. Sushma Singh. Today in Unit 18, Tribe and Caste, we are going to start our lecture with topic Sanskritization. As noted earlier, it has been generally held that the tribes in the contact with the known tribes have been undergoing changes, and the change has been in the direction of absorption in the Hindu society through complex social processes. Scholars have conceptualized the process at work diversity. This is evident from the range of terms that have been used to capture the processes, the most common being the term of Sanskritization and Hinduization. At times, anthropologists have also made use of such specific terms of Kshatriyization and Rajputization in place of Sanskritization. These terms describe different social processes at work, though in actual empirical reality these processes coincide and overlap. Notwithstanding this, there has been tendency among the social scientists to use them interchangeably or synonymously. Most often than not, the difficulties arising from the use of such terms are overcome by use of such generic terms as acculturation, assimilation, absorption, etc. However, the main processes through which transformation of tribe into caste is understood are Hinduization and Sanskritization. The question is whether such processes as Hinduization and Sanskritization etc. that occur in the tribal society lead to the dislocation of tribal society and pave the way for its absorption in the Hindu society. Does tribe, by virtue of getting acculturated, cease to be tribe and becomes caste? In fact, almost all scholars refer to earlier tend to think so. To these scholars, tribes eventually cease to exist as entities independent of the caste society from which they were earlier differentiated. The fact of the matter is that while this may have been the case in the past, it is no longer true of India after independence. Since acculturation of tribes to Hindu society or transformation of tribes to caste is attributed to the process of Sanskritization or Hinduization. It is imperative at the very outset to examine the appropriateness of these terms and concepts, especially of Sanskritization. Sanskritization is seen as a process whereby the communities lower down the rug emulate the lifestyle of the dominant caste of the region. By this process of emulation, the caste lower down the rug would move up in the ladder to the caste hierarchy. At times, more specific terms such as Kshatriyization or Rajputization have been used to describe such a process. Now, this process was used to understand the dynamics of the social change within the caste society. Sociologists and social anthropologists have, however, also extended this term and concept to describe certain process of change that has been going on the tribal society. It is extension valid to describe transformations being witnessed in the tribal society. The author, according to the extension, in the sense in which it is used, is far from the appropriate in the context of the tribal society. It is inappropriate because it assumes that tribes are first of all part of Hindu society and second that they are part of the caste society. Tribes have been, however, conceived as tribes precisely because they are outside the Hindu as well as the caste society. That is, tribes is a society that remains outside the caste Hindu society. Can there be a process of Sanskritization as it has been conceived without the tribes first becoming part of the caste Hindu society? The process demands that tribes first must enter the Hindu society. The question that arises is whether Hinduization is the same as Sanskritization. The two are, of course, interrelated, but it may be more appropriate to describe the processes involved in the context of tribes as Hinduization rather than Sanskritization. This is so because climbing up the hierarchy is not the overriding concern among the tribes. Of course, it is not possible to conceive of Hindu faith and practices outside that of caste organization. Hinduization thus invariably entails assuming some caste status. But the caste status that is accorded to the tribes is said to be one of low caste status. If this is the case, where is the process of social mobility in the case of tribes? What is it that tribes gain through this process? Neither have they made claim for higher status. Rather, it is outsiders who imposed such a status on the tribes. In fact, even after Hinduization, tribes by and large remain outside the hierarchical structure of the Hindu society. If at all there have been such claims, these have been made, as we shall see, only after they have been drawn into the larger social structure of the neighboring Hindu and linguistic community. The problem with the concept of Sanskritization in the case of the tribes does not end there. In fact, there is also a problem of the reference group. It is far from the clear from the literature as to which of the caste group tribes bearing those belonging to the royal or chief lineage emulated in their respective region. The loyal or chiefly lineage have invariably emulated the Rajputs and has entered into matrimonial alliances with them. Thus, whereas the upper strata of the tribal society got integrated into Hindu caste society, the subjects continue to live outside Hindu society, though there may have been a process of Hinduization among them. Climbing up the ladder of hierarchy had been not their main concern. Given this, it would perhaps be more appropriate to speak of Hinduization than of Sanskritization in the context of tribes in India. Further, if at all tribes consider some caste as superior, it is not because of their caste status but because they happen to be Jagirdar, Thaikadars and Lambardar, etc. The question of that may be asked then is why tribes Hinduize themselves even though they attain no higher status. Do they want to absorb into the larger society? Well, this may have been the case in the past, but it is no longer the case today. Today, the process of acculturation into idea, values, and practices of the dominant community is more for being like the dominant community than one of being part of that society by assuming some caste status. Here we want to close this lecture. Thanks for listening.